Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Come back to our pranks program, Project Management Knowledge Sharing. And we are reaching our 98th session, two session for our 100th prank session. And today we'll have Lorna Weston-Smyth for our speaker from Canada. And she will present topic about chaos to clarity, equipping your people for success. And she will navigating the landscape of our role and responsibility and explore the strategy for effectively leading teams and projects. First, before we invite you, our speaker, let me inform you about our speaker biography. Lorna Weston-Smyth is executive coach and trainer from LWS Coaching Training. Lorna Weston-Smyth is executive coach and trainer who used her years as a serial entrepreneur to help business owner and career professional, specializing in leadership development and communication, turning around culture and teams for mid-sized organization, and she guide new and veteran leader to develop and lead their team. She also author of the book, The Effective Leader, How to Maximize Engagement and Cultivate a High-Performance Teams. Lorna also a member of Forbes Coach Council and a founding member of the Maxwell Leadership Certification Programs. She served on faculty and executive committee of the President Advisory Council for the Maxwell Certified Teams. Okay, before we start, let me inform you about our ground rules. First, all participants will be on mute and video will be turned off. And if you have any question, please submit it in the chat box. And this session will be recorded. And then the e-certificate will be distributed to all participants who join this session to all your email. And if you are a PMI Indonesian chapter member, there will be auto submission video. And then the recording will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. You can search for PMI Indonesian chapter. And last, happy learning and give us feedback. Okay, without any further, let me invite our speaker, Lorna, to the stage. Please, everyone, welcome Lorna Weston-Smyth.
Thank you, everyone. Let me get my screen up here. All right, hopefully, yes, you can see all of that. Well, good evening, everyone. It's great to be here with all of you. I hope you'll enjoy tonight's session. I'm going to be talking about teams and how to get that engagement. You know, if you're lucky, you've experienced what it feels like to be on a real team, clear on mission and confident in each other's abilities. You lock arms with your fellow teammates and you feel like you could conquer the world, right? Spirits are high, and even with the challenges mounting, failure becomes moments to teach the team a new lesson. Members support each other when someone needs to take a break, and everyone celebrates together when milestones are reached. Too often, that kind of peak experience at work is rare. It's more likely you feel lost in the organization, unclear of the big picture, and unable to make a dent in the prevailing culture, a culture of disconnection that seems to surround you. You see, teams are made up of people, and the relationships between them directly influence the nature and quality of collaboration. Work is social, and incorporating personal connection is foundational for teams to function well. Truth is, connection is what motivates us. Author Jamil Zaki, professor of psychology at Stanford University, said that connection isn't just about helping people feel comfortable with colleagues. It's what actually moves them to do their best work. Connection is the social capital that gives organizations the resiliency and agility they need, not just structural or process related factors. It's created through connections between people, ideas, resources, and learning as a team to collaborate. Connection looks like believing in each other and believing in the work we do together. The ability to connect with different people, different ideas, and different perspectives is a leadership competency and critical to making innovation happen. So thank you for inviting me to speak to this group. As they said, I'm a speaker, coach, and trainer with Maxwell Leadership, and I am excited to be here with you today. In the next hour or so, I want to help you understand how to tap into the power of collaboration and teamwork done well. But before we get to that, I'd like you to take a moment and write down your intention for being here on this call today. What is one thing that you would like to learn, and where will you apply it when you do? As adults, we learn better when we know what we are going to do with what we learn. So, what is something that you want to learn here today, and where are you going to apply it? Go ahead and write that down. You know, when I was asked to speak to this group today, I made two promises. The first promise was that I made was that you are absolutely going to get something that you can apply today. You see, what I found the biggest gap is between what we do and what we know. So my goal is to actually close that gap, given the short time that we have here today, and give you something to think about, yes, but also make sure that you get something that is practical and applicable that you can use right away. Now, for some of you, you're going to get a taste of what I talk about today, and you're going to say, I want to know more about that. Or I really wish so and so could hear this. If you think hearing more about this or doing a study of this type of material would serve you and your organization, if you're interested in that, I'll talk more about how you can do that at the end. But I promise you, if that you are absolutely going to get something that you can apply today. So today we're going to talk about how to learn strategies to effectively lead multifunctional teams to success, gain insights into how to foster collaboration and communication among diverse team members, and develop a deeper understanding of the role of leadership in creating the environment for success. You see, leading multifunctional teams presents a unique set of challenges and opportunities for you as project managers. On one hand, the diversity of skills and expertise within the team can lead to innovative solutions and more better understanding of the project requirements. However, managing team members with different backgrounds and perspectives can also lead to communication barriers, conflicting priorities, and power struggles, right? There is this Chinese proverb that says, behind an able man, there is always able men. And the truth is that teamwork is at the heart of every great achievement. The question isn't whether teams have value. The question is whether we acknowledge that fact and become better team players and leaders. Consider a project designer in a large enterprise. Let's call her Sharon. A new project was brought to her together with other talented individuals from the company. The team had high expectations, but the first few meetings were unproductive. Sharon wondered why such a brilliant group couldn't work well together. We've all had that frustration, right? Discussions become circular, colleagues are jockeying for attention as egos take over, people disengage, ideas are lost. There's no alignment, only frustration. Deadlines draw closer with little or no progress to report. No matter how talented a group of individuals might be, it takes intentionality and leadership to forge a highly collaborative team. Sharon decided to take a thoughtful and intentional approach to improve that collaboration. She mapped out activities designed to build trust and bring out the full potential of everyone in the group. She selected proven ways to guide interactions of the team, removing ego from the equation and focusing the attention on the work. And the plan worked. The team started functioning as a cohesive unit. Sharon received messages and emails thanking her for creating an inclusive space. Her manager, Ashley, noticed the success and, well, she wasn't surprised, as Sharon always excelled in tough situations. However, Ashley was surprised when Sharon announced that she was leaving for an organization where her skills would bring more value and fulfillment. In her exit interview, Sharon expressed frustration with the pervasive dysfunction across the organization. Whether you're in product design, engineering, IT, consulting, or leading a company in the C suite, when your organization fails to collaborate effectively, your best people not only cannot do their best work, but they leave in search of better experience. Sure, talent and skill matter. Each person needs to bring their best self to the table, but talent alone doesn't make a high performing team. In sports, we see this time and again. A roster of top athletes that everyone assumes will dominate the competition ends up losing to teams without superstars who play better together. A virtuoso musician has to be proficient in their own instrument, but playing in a band requires a different type of ability, the ability to listen, adjusting, and reacting in real time, abilities that go beyond individual technical ability. Having the right talent is a good thing, but the truth is that talent will be ineffective within dysfunctional teams. Fostering a culture of collaboration requires a sense of belonging. The people on your team need to not just be associated with one another, but also know that they share commonalities. Belonging requires an unmistakable bond be made between each and every one. Now, one of the main challenges of leading multifunctional teams is ensuring effective collaboration and coordination among team members with varied specialties. You, as project managers, must cultivate a culture of openness, respect, and trust to encourage that information sharing and problem solving, right? They also need strong communication skills to convey the project goals and expectations to the team members from different departments while leveraging diverse expertise for innovation and success. No small feat, right? By fostering a collaborative environment, you can harness the collective intelligence of the team to overcome challenges and deliver high quality results. Effective leadership requires strong communication, collaboration, and organizational skills. Building strong relationships and fostering a sense of unity among the team members is crucial for ensuring that effective collaboration to achieve the project success. Not to mention, you must also manage the technical aspects and interpersonal dynamics within the team. Lots of fun here. Navigating modern project environments, it involves tight deadlines, limited resources, and high stakeholder expectations, right? Ultimately, this effective leadership of teams requires technical expertise, leadership skills, and adaptability. First and foremost, among is deciding that the people on the team are worth equipping and developing is the first step to building a better team. By recognizing the unique strengths and perspectives of each team member, a leader can effectively assign roles and responsibilities that play to each individual's strengths. This not only maximizes the team's potential, but also fosters a sense of empowerment and ownership among team members. When individuals feel valued and respected for their contributions, they are more likely to be motivated and engaged in the project. In the workplace where teamwork is required for projects, the investment in assessments to identify strengths and working styles and preferences can greatly enhance this collaboration and performance. By leveraging these tools, we can gain valuable insights into individual strengths, enabling us to build more successful and cohesive teams. Now, the DISC assessment, which categorizes individuals into four main personality types: dominance, influence, steadiness, and compliance. They can provide valuable insights into team dynamics and communication styles. I love it because it is very simple assessment that's easy to remember. By understanding their own and their colleagues' DISC profiles, team members can adapt their communication and work styles to better collaborate and work effectively towards project success. So first we have the Ds, the dominant ones. These individuals are assertive, results oriented, and tend to take charge. The I's, the influencers, these are individuals, they're social, they're persuasive, and enjoy working in teams. The S's, they're steady. These individuals are reliable, patient, and thrive in stable environments. They make great team players. And then there's the C's, the compliant. These individuals, they're analytical, they're detail oriented, and prefer a well defined process. For example, a team member with a dominant personality style may prefer direct and assertive communication, whereas a team member with an S, steady personality type, may value stability and consistency. By recognizing these differences in communication preferences, team members can tailor their interactions to ensure clear and effective communication. This can help prevent misunderstandings, conflicts, and inefficiencies within the team, ultimately leading to that improved collaboration and performance. As I said, I love using DISC because it's really easy to understand and apply. Would you like to see where you're maybe on the DISC scale? It's easy to answer by answering just a couple of questions. So first, let's imagine you are standing in front of elevator doors waiting for them to open. As the doors begin to open, do you secretly hope that no one else is in the elevator so you won't have to go through that awkward moment as you walk into the elevator trying to figure out if they're going to want to talk to you or not? You press the button you want, then you look at the button panel, you look at your shoes, you look at the door, you look at the floor numbers as they change. You wish the elevator would go just a little faster so you can make your quiet exit. If that's you, put an R in the chat. This would indicate that you're a more reserved person. But of course, this is just an observation. Okay, same elevator. As the doors begin to open, you're curious and you're excited to see who is on the other side. The minute you walk in, you say a hearty hello to everyone and you press the button for your floor. Then you begin to ask them how was their day, and maybe make a joke about the weather. If that's you, if you enjoy talking to people, then put an O in the chat because you're more likely an outgoing person. That wasn't a suggestion here. And you go ahead and put those letters in the chat. If you are reserved, put an R. If you're outgoing, put an O. Next question. You're planning on taking a vacation. Are you focused on what needs to get done in order to go? Do you have to make sure that you mow the lawn, take the dog to the kennel, take your car in for service? Maybe you're lining up the work that needs to get done while you're out. Or you look to see if the hotel has Wi-Fi so you can answer emails while you're away. There's lots of work to get done before you go, right? If that's you, put a T in the chat. See, if you lay in bed going at night, going over all the things that you got done today and what you have to get done tomorrow, then you're likely task oriented. Go ahead and put a T in the chat. And vacation mode again. You're focused on who else is going with you. You get caught up thinking about who you will meet and when you get there and all the fun experiences that you're going to have together. If you lay in bed at night thinking about all the conversations you had today and who you get to talk to tomorrow, then you are probably people oriented. Go ahead and put a P in the chat. Now, remember those who put a T in the chat? You want to thank them because those are the people who are going to make the biggest source for you to help you go on vacation in the first place. Right? We need those task oriented to make sure things get done so that we can go on vacation. Now, for my C friends, that list was not a list. This, my C friends, is a list. Am I right? When we understand the unique strengths of each team member, we can create an environment that maximizes collaboration and performance. So, here are a few ways which identify strengths that can make a significant impact. We can improve communication. By knowing each team member's communication style, we can tailor our messages accordingly. For instance, dominant individuals prefer direct and concise communication. Dominants are outgoing and task oriented. Influential or I's appreciate enthusiasm and positive language. I's are also outgoing, but they are people oriented. The steady individuals, the S's, value friendly and supportive communication. They are people oriented, but they are also more reserved. And then the C's, the compliant individuals, respond well to detailed explanations and logical reasoning. They are also more reserved, but they are task oriented, like the D's. There is enhanced collaboration. When team members are aware of their own strengths and those of their colleagues, they can more effectively delegate tasks that align with individual strengths. This not only increases the efficiency, but also boosts morale and fosters a sense of purpose within the team. It's good to be able to do what we are good at. It allows us to shine. We experience increased productivity. When individuals are assigned tasks that align with their strengths, they are more likely to excel in those areas, right? This leads to higher productivity and quality of work output as team members feel empowered and engaged in their work. We all want to do our best work. And we get strengthened team dynamics. Recognizing and appreciating each other's strengths fosters a culture of mutual respect and support within the team. It enables team members to work harmoniously, leveraging their unique abilities to achieve the common goals. Ultimately, the goal of assessment, such as DISC, is to transform that chaos into clarity by providing members with a common language and framework for understanding themselves and their colleagues. These assessments can help break down barriers and foster a sense of unity within the team. When team members are able to communicate effectively, leverage their strengths, and work towards a shared goal, they are better equipped to navigate those complexities of a project and personal interrelations to achieve success. Now, in addition to improving communication and collaboration, insights gained from assessments can also lead to increased self awareness and personal growth. Team members can gain a better understanding of their own strengths and weaknesses, allowing them to make more informed decisions and contributions to the team. This self-awareness can lead to improved conflict resolution skills as team members learn how to navigate differences in communication styles and work preferences. Now, the other assessment that I love using with teams is the working genius. It's different from DISC, and when used together, they can significantly enhance team performance. This assessment helps us identify unique working sweet spots and place team members in roles where they can excel and thrive. The working genius assessment works alongside the DISC model and can provide a comprehensive understanding of team dynamics. The working genius assessment is based on the 6 different types of work that people generally excel at. First is wonder. This is the work of asking questions, exploring ideas, and seeking creative solutions. There's the work of innovation. This work is developing new concepts and processes or products. The discernment. This is the work of evaluating options, making decisions, and providing guidance. The work of galvanizing is the work of rallying people around a common goal or vision and inspiring them to take action. These are the cheerleaders that gather everybody together and get them moving in the right direction. The work of enablement is the work of supporting others and removing obstacles and providing resources for success. And finally, the work of tenacity. This is the work of pushing through challenges, persevering, and achieving results. That's that, sticking to it until we get it done. And every team needs some of that, right? By understanding each team member's working genius, we can create a harmonious and high performing team. Here's a few ways that the working genius assessment can help us maximize team performance. When team members are placed in roles that align with their natural working genius, they are more likely to excel and thrive, right? By identifying an individual's strongest areas of genius, we can assign tasks and responsibilities accordingly, ensuring that everyone is contributing their unique talents to the success of the team. The working genius can also help identify complementary working geniuses within the team. By pairing individuals with different strengths together, we can create a collaborative environment where team members can leverage each other's strengths, compensating for weaknesses, and achieve remarkable results. And finally, when team members understand their own working genius and that of their colleagues, they can approach problem solving and decision making with greater clarity and efficiency. By involving individuals with discernment and wonder, we can ensure that perspectives are considered, leading to better informed decisions and more innovative solutions. By identifying which areas of each team member excels in, leaders can strategically assign tasks and responsibilities that play to their strengths. This not only improves the overall effectiveness of the team, but also boosts that morale and motivation as team members are able to work in roles where they feel confident and competent, where they're able to bring their best self to the table. This targeted approach to task delegation, it can also prevent burnout. It improves job satisfaction because we get to do what we're good at and enjoy doing. And ultimately, that leads to better outcomes. In addition, it helps leaders identify potential gaps in their team's skill set and making better informed decisions about resource allocation and training. By proactively addressing areas of weakness, teams can build that resilience and build their bench strength and adaptability. These are crucial qualities for navigating the challenges of any project, right? Now, there's a quality of leaders, of exceptional leaders. They inspire exceptional results by believing in their team members, even when facing daunting goals. People tend to see what they expect to see, even when their perspectives differ from reality. Research shows that people act consistently with the expectations placed on them. Anticipating failure becomes a self fulfilling prophecy, while expecting success often becomes a reality. Exemplary leaders create an environment that boosts self confidence and helps individuals surpass their perceived limits. Feeling valued and appreciated enhances self worth, leading to success for both professional and personal life. Faith in people is a crucial quality for a leader, but unfortunately, it is rare today. Research confirms that individuals with high self-esteem have a strong sense of uniqueness, competence, security, and empowerment. These traits transcend age, education, and socioeconomic status. When someone believes in you and consistently and reinforces that belief, their support has a profound influence. Similarly, you can impact others by instilling belief and fostering that supportive environment. So let's take a look at 4 facts about having faith in people. I think we've got a question here. Which type works best? And if there's a scenario where practically saves everyone time. Each assessment, each personality type can work in different areas better. I love the working genius because it also speaks to what kind of meetings they need to be in. The wonder and innovation, they need to be in the strategic, that big picture thinking, that 50,000 foot meeting. But what the other end of the spectrum, the enablement and the tenacity, they need to be working on the details. What's missing? What's the next step? What's getting us stuck? So having that, using the different personality types with it comes to communication and the disc style, understanding how you communicate is primarily it is a wonderful tool. I myself am a CDS, so I like details. I'm a D, get to the point, let's get on with it. But I have learned how to adapt my communication style so that I can connect better with the eyes who just want fun. So they need that little bit of social at the beginning of the meeting. They need that connection and people oriented questions. And the S's, they need to know that it's security. They need to know that you're going to be there for them. So they tend to be a little more reserved, a little more conservative. I love to say that, you know what, when you're going to make a change in August, the C's and the S's, you need to tell them in May, the year before, because they don't like change. So you've got to give them a lot of time to think about it and prepare for it. And that's how you can use the disc in your communication and your planning styles. So let's take a look at the 4 factors of having faith in people. First, most people don't have faith in themselves. Way too many people have trouble believing in themselves. They believe that they'll fail. Even when they see the light at the end of the tunnel, they're convinced it's a train. They see difficulty in every possibility. I'm betting everyone knows someone like that, right? But the reality is, difficulties seldom defeat people. It's the lack of faith in ourselves that usually does it. Most people don't have someone who has faith in them. In our society today, people feel isolated. The strong sense of community that was once enjoyed many years ago, it has become rare. Many people don't have that family support that was much more common 40, 50 years ago. For many people, even those closest to them don't necessarily believe in them. They feel like they have no one on their side. Most people can tell when someone has faith in them. People's instincts are pretty good at knowing when others have faith in them. They can sense if your belief is genuine or phony. And truly, having faith in someone can change a person's life. When you believe in people, they will do the impossible. As you work with people, always remember that your goal is not to get people to think more highly of you, it's to get them to think more highly of themselves. Have faith in them, and they will begin to do exactly that. And finally, most people will do anything to live up to your faith. People rise or fall to meet your level of expectations for them. If you express skepticism and doubts, they will return back your lack of confidence with mediocrity. But if you believe in them and expect them to do well and equip them with what they need to succeed, They will go the extra mile and do their very best. And in the process, both they and you benefit. Having faith in people requires more than just words or positive feelings about them. We have to back it up with what we do. If you want to help other people and make a positive impact on their lives, you have to treat them with confidence. Become a believer in people. And even the most tentative and inexperienced people can bloom right before your eyes. I have witnessed this many, many times. Having a belief in someone who was very reticent, didn't like absolutely petrified of even getting up and speaking in front of a crowd. Handing her a mic would have had the same effect as handing her a snake. In fact, I think she would have preferred the snake. But that constant reinforcement and belief in her, and now she is a trainer. She gets up in front of people all the time, speaking and training them and helping them be better. German statesman Konrad Adenauer observed, we all live under the same sky, but we don't all have the same horizon. As a leader, you have the goal of helping others see beyond today and their current circumstances and dream big dreams. When you put your faith in people, you help them expand their horizons and motivate them to move to a whole new level of living. Integral to that new way of living is a change in attitude. According to Dennis Waitley, the winner's edge is not a gifted birth, a high IQ, or in talent. The winner's edge is all in the attitude, not the aptitude. Attitude is the criterion for success. As people's attitudes change from doubt to confidence in themselves and their ability to succeed and reach their potential, everything in their lives changes for the better. This belief in people's ability not only boosts morale and engagement, but also it instills this confidence, trust, and support in each team member. It creates a bond between you and the team members, but when they believe in each other, it creates a bond between the team members as well. So in the workplace environment, collaboration and communication are essential for success. There are many ways you can create an environment that encourages a collaborative culture. Creating a culture of open communication where team members feel comfortable sharing ideas, giving feedback and concerns can be achieved by starting off regular team meetings with a few minutes of a drop in with everyone. The I's and S's especially love this exercise, but the D's and C's, we need to do this. So, for example, you might want to build more connection by using a team warm up exercise at the start of each meeting. It takes maybe 5 minutes. I've found that using a short prompt to begin the meeting can help with getting to know your teammates on a more personal level. You can try something like, what was your first job? And everyone shares that. Or what's your favorite bad movie? And invite team members to share what's going on for them in the moment, as well as what past experience have shaped their behavior and decision making. By providing a platform for open and honest communication that can develop deeper connections, teams can work through challenges more effectively and strengthen their work relationships. There's one exercise that I love to do. It's called Rose, Thorn, Bud. And this can be used to develop the connections between team members, but it can also be used when looking at projects and where you are in that project, where you're getting stuck and what's going on. It's great for a stand-up meeting or a scrum meeting. So the rose is a positive highlight. By maybe you're reviewing your day and maybe your rose was, let's say, you had pancakes for breakfast this morning and you love pancakes. Or if you're reviewing a project, maybe it was positive feedback that you received from the client. So the rose is a positive thing. The thorn, well, I think that pretty much explains it. The thorns are something that most of us are pretty good at spotting. It's pretty easy to see that. It's anything that maybe didn't go the way you hoped. Maybe you tried to flip your pancake and you dropped it. Or maybe there was an aspect of the project that you haven't fully realized yet. You're stuck there. There's a problem, a challenge that's going on, and you're not exactly sure how you're going to deal with that. So that's the thorn. And then finally, the bud. The bud is an opportunity for improvement, something that has possibility. Maybe it's an idea that you had or something that you're looking forward to. It has potential to become a rose. This might be maybe you start your morning workout tomorrow or an upcoming project that you're excited to get started on. So this rose, thorn, bud, it's a real simple um, framework, and it can be used to develop your relationships and get to know each other in any situation. You can even use that personally, around the dinner table, what's going on with your family for the day. So in every workplace today, there is opportunity for effective communication, which is crucial for building a strong team culture and driving project success. Clear and open communication ensures everyone is on the same page and understands their roles and responsibilities and can work together towards that common goal. Now, that sounds great on paper, right? But that is rarely the reality in most companies. I have yet to find a company that doesn't have some issues with communication. And it is ironic with some of them. When team members communicate openly and honestly, they're able to share ideas and provide feedback and address any issues or challenges that might come up. This transparency, this is how we foster trust, and trust breeds collaboration, creating that positive team culture where everyone feels valued and heard. Effective communication helps to prevent misunderstandings. No God there. Reduce conflicts and increase productivity. No surprise there, right? But clearly articulating our goals, expectations, and timelines, we can work more efficiently and effectively towards that success when we know what success looks like. Open communication and psychological safety. This is key here. Psychological safety. It allows team members to feel comfortable sharing their ideas and perspectives without fear of judgment. This is one of the things I see in even the best of organizations that have a great team culture. Sometimes they have what I call toxic positivity. In other words, no one is allowed to say anything negative. It doesn't mean that we go deep on the negativity, but we have to be able to have that psychological safety to say, you know what? I don't think that is the best way forward. I don't agree with where this is going. And we have to be able to challenge our ideas. That's how we get that psychological safety needs to be there, that people can stand up and say, I don't see that or disagree with the prevailing. That's how we get to the best ideas. But without that psychological safety, we don't have that. So the role of effective communication goes beyond just sharing information. It involves actively listening, seeking feedback, and fostering a culture of openness and trust. When team members feel heard and valued, they're more likely to contribute their ideas and their perspectives. And this leads to greater innovation and problem solving, right? Because we have more options. It can also help mitigate risks and address the potential challenges before they escalate. But they have to have that safety of being able to stand up and challenge their ideas and challenge each other. By encouraging team members to speak up about concerns and issues, you can proactively identify and resolve problems, leading to a smoother execution and ultimately greater success, right? Now, Patrick Lencioni sums up it well in his book, The Five Dysfunctions of a Team. He says, great teams ensure that everyone's ideas are genuinely considered, which then creates a willingness to rally around whatever decision is ultimately made by the group. So, what are some strategies that can help us cultivate an effective communication within our team? First is to encourage team members to actively listen to one another, giving their full attention and seeking to understand before responding. One challenge with communication is we tend to listen to respond rather than listen to understand. Listening to understand is the next level of listening. This helps us to better understand and avoid miscommunication if we're listening, truly listening to what is being said. Then we need to emphasize the importance of clear and concise information. Encourage team members to use simple language, avoid jargon, and be mindful of other people's communication style and preference according to their DISC style. One of the things I know about the D style, as I said, they're to the point. They prefer a bullet point. Just give them the bullet points. Just give them the bottom line. But the I's and the S's, well, they like a lot of chit chat and social, and the C's, well, they want the facts. One of the ways you can mitigate that when you're communicating in, say, an email with all personality types is give the outline in bullet points. The D's will get just the information they need to start with. Then you can put in the more detailed information below that for the ones that need that information, that detailed uh, all the facts and figures and data and more context around what's going on. And of course, don't forget your social. As I said, I'm a CDS. And what I've learned when I'm writing emails, I tend to just go right to the point. But what I've learned is I'll put that in the body of the email, and then I'll go back and put in the niceties that mom tried to teach me, hi, how are you? How things are going, and all the social part. But I put what I need in first, and then I proofread and send my email. And that way we can touch point all of the different DISC styles. Then we need to establish regular check-in meetings where team members can openly discuss progress, challenges, and ideas. These meetings provide an opportunity for everyone to share their updates, asking for feedback, and address any concerns or roadblocks that they're experiencing. Now, I'm sure that all of you are familiar with Scrum or daily stand-ups. Then that should be no more than maybe 15 minutes, but it gives everyone a chance to touch base and check in with each other. Then we know that different team members have different communication preferences. It's essential to provide various channels as well as face-to-face meetings, emails, instant messaging, or project management tools to accommodate individual preferences and ensure effective communication across the team. Some people prefer the face-to-face meetings, some prefer emails, some prefer text, some prefer the project management tools. What are the preferences? Make sure that you give lots of options. We can challenge each other to create a culture that encourages constructive feedback among team members. Constructive feedback helps everyone grow and learn from our mistakes and improve our performance. So employees want a clear understanding of their job as it provides them a foundation for successful performance and contributes to job satisfaction. This begins with a clarity of expectations. Knowing what their job entails, helps employees understand what is expected of them. Clear expectations contribute to a sense of direction and purpose and allows employees to focus on their responsibilities. Clarity about job responsibilities and expectations helps employees prioritize tasks. They can focus on the most critical aspects of their role, ensuring that they are using their time and skills efficiently. Clear roles within the team contribute to better collaboration. There is nothing worse, and I've seen this happen time and again, that they're just thrown in together, and everybody's, this is what success looks like, but nobody knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing or when and who's going to do what, and therefore nothing really gets done. When a team member understands their job roles and the roles of their colleagues, it promotes more cohesive and harmonious working environment. Knowing their job helps employees align their efforts with the broader goals of the organization. And this alignment is essential to achieving overall success and ensuring that individual contributions support the company's mission. In other words, what is my place in this? Why am why is what I'm doing important to the mission? Whether that is making sure that the files are in the right place, or that everybody is doing what they need to be doing. Whatever it is, what I do has impact and importance. Employees want to know how they are doing on the job, to understand how well they are meeting those expectations, and what can they do to improve. Feedback is essential for personal and career growth. Employees want to know if they are on the right track, and what can they do to advance their career. When employees understand their performance, they can then set goals for personal and professional development. They know what the next level looks like. Positive feedback and recognition for work can be very motivating for employees. When they know their efforts are appreciated, they feel valued and are more likely to be engaged in their role. Now, while there are many reasons that employees will seek feedback, most will not ask for fear of being criticized or a lack of trust among supervisors and employees. Many will also not ask because it is not a cultural norm. So feedback is important to employees for a variety of reasons, and it plays a crucial role in their personal and professional development, job satisfaction, and overall success. Feedback provides employees with insights into their strengths and areas for improvement. This information is invaluable for personal and professional growth, allowing individuals to develop new skills or enhance existing ones. Constructive feedback helps employees understand how well they are meeting job expectations. It provides specific information on what is working and what can be improved, and contributing to enhanced performance. Positive feedback serves as motivation and reinforcement for a job well done. Recognizing and acknowledging employees' efforts and achievements can boost morale and motivation, leading to job satisfaction. Feedback aids in setting clear and achievable goals. Understanding performance strengths and areas for improvement allows employees to set realistic and targeted goals that align with their personal development. Feedback fosters self-awareness by providing employees with an external perspective on their performance. It allows individuals to gain a more accurate understanding of their skills, behaviors, and impacts on others. I can see what I'm doing and I think I'm doing great, but you might not see it the same way. Giving feedback helps us see ourselves from a different perspective. We can't see the picture when we're in the frame. Regular feedback promotes open and effective communication between employees and their supervisors or colleagues. It creates a culture of transparency and trust where individuals feel comfortable discussing their work and seeking guidance. Now, here's one thing that I have learned about feedback. You give critical feedback in private and praise in public. So make sure that when you are giving critical feedback, it's always in a one-to-one. You see, feedback identifies specific skills that employees need to develop, whether it's technical or interpersonal or leadership skills. Feedback guides employees to focusing their efforts in areas that will contribute to their success. Feedback is crucial for career advancement. It provides employees with information on how their performance aligns with their career goals and what steps they can take to progress within the organization. Employees who receive feedback regularly are more likely to engage in continuous learning. They become proactive in seeking opportunities for development and staying updated on industry trends and best practices. When giving feedback and receiving feedback becomes a part of our culture, employees grow in their level of awareness and begin to self check and self coach, and then begin to seek out feedback. So, how can we embrace a culture of feedback? One of the best ways is through in the moment coaching with a few questions and encouragement. And again, this is done in a one-to-one meeting. So here we have an outline of how to do that in a one-to-one. First, you want to be very specific. What is the goal of this conversation? This helps us really be intentional on what the result is coming out of the conversation. What is the one thing you want to achieve from it? Focus on behaviors or actions. What are the behaviors or actions that need to be discussed, and get an agreement that this is what needs to be worked on? There's a balance of constructive and positive feedback. Always start the conversation with a positive. What is it that you appreciate about them? What is one of the strengths? What are they doing right? And then build from there. Give them the opportunity to and show them where they can grow, and then end with that belief in them that this is something that they can achieve. Commit to support them. It's not just go do it, that you are there to help them along the way. If you have any questions, I'm here to help you. What is it that you need to achieve that? If you need anything, let me know. And then set a follow-up time. Don't just let it go. You need to have that accountability. So set up a follow-up time that you're going to follow up with them to make sure that they're on track. Do they need any more support? And what progress are they making? And then finally, that recognition in public. Congratulate them when they have achieved what it is. Public recognition goes a long way in helping create that positive momentum, and it sets an example for the rest of the team as well. So if you're interested in downloading this guide, I'll show you a way to do that at the end. Is that okay with you? Question: how can leaders ensure that their teams have the necessary tools and resources to perform their jobs effectively? Well,
Hello.
that is,
Sorry for interrupting, Lorna.
yes.
You can continue to the last slide and finish it, and then we will jump to our Q&A question.
Okay, okay. I wasn't sure if you wanted the questions all on camera. So,
Okay.
all right. So
Okay.
let's continue this.
Let's.
Thanks. All right.
Thank you.
So the best communication begins with the end in mind, especially when you've got a lot to accomplish, right? It's critical to get everyone on the same page. First, let's set and measure goals. What does success look like? The goals should be challenging yet attainable, pushing everyone to stretch themselves a little bit and their capabilities. By having a roadmap for success, we can set clear expectations and channel our efforts more effectively and monitor our progress. So, what can you do when you have a lot of goals? And who doesn't have a lot of goals? But you're limited on time, right? You can gather your team for 30 minutes and do what I call a skinny strategy session. And you'll do this with each of the goals that you have set. So a skinny strategy session looks something like this. And you'll do a sheet like this for each one of your goals. You're going to, first of all, state what is the desired outcome? What does success look like? Then you'll have, okay, who's going to be on that team? Is it a committee? Is it a team? And how often are you going to meet to discuss this? What is the current reality? What is the current situation? What is going on right now that we need to change or improve? What steps can we take over the next 30, 60, 90 days? List them out. They can be just bullet points. We need to do this, this, and this. Tangible deliverables, and how are we going to measure success? So, what are the milestones on the way to that goal post? How often are we going to go over that data? What is the measurables and the deliverables that we can say, and how often are we going to review that? What would need to be true tomorrow if we are to achieve what is not true today if we were to achieve that? So what needs to change? What do we need to work through? What needs to happen? And then the timeline for full implementation. When is this going to happen? And again, this is an excellent place to use that rose, thorn, bud exercise, because it can apply to projects or a strategic plan as well and help you think through that. So if you have multiple goals, you'll take 5 or 10 minutes for each of them and do a page like this for each of them, and it gives you an overall strategic plan. Again, if you'd like this guide, I'll give you a way to download it at the end. So the word emotional is rarely used in the same sentence as leader. Yet many CEOs believe that empathy and self awareness are crucial skills for leaders by 2020, 2030. In spite of the fact that we live in a technologically driven world, human mindsets and skills will be the most important, despite being prioritized and taught the least. Leaders need strong emotional intelligence to effectively manage teams, understanding and navigating different personalities, perspectives, motivations to foster that positive and collaborative work environment, right? Building trust and rapport creates unity and cohesion, which is essential for overcoming challenges. Historically, though, empathy has not been a word that's used in business very often. Empathy is about understanding others' feelings and emotions, like putting yourself in their shoes, really. It's important for leaders to consider multiple perspectives to find common ground and the best solutions. Empathy is something leaders must practice, whether it's with an employee, or a virtual employee that's working thousands of miles away, a customer, or anyone else you're interacting with, either in your professional or your personal life. In a report called the 2018 State of Workplace Empathy, 87% of US CEOs believe empathy in the workplace is tied to financial performance. Empathy, the ability to understand and empathize with other people's emotions, is tied to financial performance. Self-awareness is a crucial aspect of emotional intelligence, involving understanding our own emotions and how others perceive us. According to Tasha Urich, a leading expert on the topic, self-awareness comprises of two components: internal self-awareness, which is how we see our own values, passions, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and external self-awareness, which is understanding how we are seen by others. Improving self-awareness has personal and interpersonal benefits, making us better performers, communicators, influencers, and avoiding unethical or manipulative behavior. It strengthens relationships, both at work and at home, leading to more engaged employees. Now, according to Daniel Goleman, the international renowned psychologist and author of the best-selling book, Emotional Intelligence, Why It Matters More Than IQ, he says that emotional self-awareness is a crucial leadership competency. Leaders who are aware of their feelings and how they impact it, how it impacts their performance, they tend to be more successful. A study of senior executives by the American Management Association found that self-awareness is the strongest predictor of overall success. This is because self-aware leaders hire people who excel in areas where they are lacking, leading to better financial and overall performance. In other words, they know what their weaknesses are and they hire for their weaknesses. One fascinating aspect of the research found that harsh, hard driving leaders who are focused solely on results at all costs don't improve the bottom line. They actually diminish it. Emotional intelligence has 5 components: self awareness, self regulation, internal motivation, empathy, and social skills. Research done by Talent Smart found that 90% of top performers in organizations also have high emotional intelligence, and just 20% of bottom performers have that high emotional intelligence. Further research published by the Harvard Business School found that emotional intelligence also has a positive impact on organizational performance. For example, Sanofi saw that 13% increase in sales professionals' performance after focusing on emotional intelligence skills. Motorola's manufacturing plant staff saw a 90% increase in productivity after implementing emotional intelligence training. Frances Hesselbein, former CEO of Girl Scouts of the USA, put it this way. She said that we spend most of our lives learning how to do, teaching people how to do. And yet we know that in the end, it is the quality of the character of the leader that determines the performance and the results. So leadership is a matter of how to be, not how to do. Leadership is about character and quality and building trust with others, and that starts with leading ourselves. Trust is the very basis of the new global economy. Trust and the speed at which it is established with clients and employees is an essential ingredient for any high performance, successful organization. So, according to Stephen M. Covey, author of The Speed of Trust. As a technical analysis, Kyle often was assigned to challenging projects with scheduling, quality, or cost issues. At a large retail IT organization, he was assigned to a big rebranding project involving multiple teams. The project had a tight deadline, unresolved issues, and unclear processes. Morale was low to previous failures and implementation challenges. Although not in a leadership role, Kyle recognized the need to unite the stakeholders. He understood that trust was needed to be rebuilt between the business and IT teams. Kyle knew he couldn't simply tell people what to do without authority. He realized he had to establish trust and productive relationships first. Leadership is a team effort. In challenging situations, successful leaders emphasize teamwork and cooperation. They create an environment where people can collaborate effectively. And trust is crucial in relationships, both within and outside organizations. Without trust, leadership is impossible. Leaders who can't trust others either do all the work themselves or become micromanagers. Building trust requires both ongoing connection and care. You have to take the time to make space for connection, not just the yearly team building activities, but an ongoing practice. Trust and care cannot exist in a vacuum. They're human emotions that only exist in relation to others. A focus on personal and relational or human aspects of collaboration must become a part of the basic operating system for teamwork. Relational intelligence is the ability to build and navigate the productive interpersonal dynamics that exist anytime a group of people come together. If collaboration is ultimately an alliance of many minds, diversity adds to its effectiveness. In fact, we've noticed a pattern. When teams are stuck, it's usually due to a lack of diverse perspectives. Bring in an outside opinion or point of view, and things tend to get unstuck. Real innovation happens when diverse alliance of minds forms. When a team has trust, they operate together as a cohesive unit. They look for ways to help each other and have healthy relationships with each other. A remote team that doesn't trust each other is doomed. So says author Lisette Sunderland. By promoting a culture of transparency and trust within the team, members can feel empowered to take risks, experiment with new ideas, knowing that their contributions are valued. Even if it turns out to be a failure, they've learned something. This can lead to increased creativity and problem solving capabilities, which ultimately drive innovation, right? So imagine your team is participating in a role playing exercise or research project. They're given identical information about a tough policy decision and asked to solve a related problem. Now, half of the groups are told to expect trusting behavior, while the other half are told to expect untrusting behavior. Such a study showed significant differences in how these groups interact and problem solve. The high trust group was open and clear about goals and sought alternative solutions. They also report more influence, satisfaction, motivation, and team closeness. It's crucial to keep in mind that these situations were simulations. They actually happened, but the participants were just role playing. People behaved and responded the way they did as a consequence of being told they couldn't trust one another. Their actions demonstrated that trust or distrust can come at a mere suggestion and in mere minutes. Believing that one can trust others is a significant predictor of how people behave and how satisfied they will be with their organizations. Trust is a predictive behavior. You show trust by listening, providing opportunities for contributions, and nurturing openness and commitment. Considering alternate viewpoints and letting others influence decisions. Such actions confirms people's beliefs that they can rely on you to do what is in everyone's best interest. While trust is a reciprocal process, responsibility for anting up first rests with you. When you say, trust me, but don't demonstrate that by your actions that you trust others, or take the time to listen and be open to being influenced, then trust doesn't blossom or flourish. Trust begets trust. The truth is, trust comes first, following comes second. The feeling of we cannot happen without trust. I love the way Simon puts it. He says, a team is not a group of people that can work together. A team is a group of people that trust each other. So in order to equip a team for success, leaders must prioritize creating a culture of trust, commitment, and results within their teams. One effective way of achieving this is implementing the 5 behaviors of a cohesive team model developed by Patrick Lencioni. This model outlines key behaviors necessary for a team to function cohesively and effectively, ultimately leading to improved performance and project outcomes. The first behavior outlined in the model at the very foundation is the building of trust among team members. Trust is essential for fostering that open communication and a sense of psychological safety within the team. When team members trust one another, they're more likely to share their ideas, providing feedback and taking risks without fear of judgment or retribution. This trust forms the foundation for which all of the other behaviors can be built, creating a strong and resilient team dynamic. The second behavior is creating healthy conflict within the team. While conflict may seem counterintuitive to team cohesion, when managed constructively, it can lead to better decision making, innovation, and overall team performance. By encouraging healthy debate and differing perspectives, team members can challenge each other's ideas, identify potential blind spots, and arrive at more well-rounded solutions to complex problems. The remaining behaviors of the model include committing to the team decisions, holding each other accountable for performance, and focusing on achieving collective results. For the 5 behaviors of cohesive team workshop, I start with initial survey prior to the workshop with a series of questions that map to Lencioni's 5 dysfunctions: the absence of trust, fear of conflict, lack of commitment, avoidance of accountability, and inattention to results. A score for each of these areas based on the survey results then tells the team where to focus. In the workshop, these scores are then shared so the group is aligned. Next, we create a series of target activities to address the weaker dimensions. If, say, trust is an issue, for example, there is an exercise for team members to form deeper connections by sharing personal histories. Each person gives some details of their background, where they grew up, how many siblings they have, what challenges they may have faced. The participants then share something new that they have learned about each other on the team. And at the end of the workshop, the participants commit to changing an aspect of collaboration. Each member declares what they will work on and how they intend to address identified dysfunctions. This is key to making the entire exercise something that people can feel accountable for. When leaders prioritize these behaviors and actively work to instill them in their teams, they can create a culture that fosters collaboration, innovation, and ultimately success. Now, before we finish up here, out of curiosity, how many of you found at least one thing valuable today? Put a yes in the chat if you found something valuable. Go ahead, put something in the chat. I hope you found it valuable.
Okay. Thank you for your excellent presentation, Lorna.
All right. I'm not quite done yet, so let me finish up here. We're almost done. Before we wrap up,
Okay.
the best way that you can pay me back for what for letting me know that what you thought about this presentation. I need to know what you liked about it. What can I do more of that? And I want to know what you disliked and how I can improve on that. So go ahead and pull out your phone. You can use the QR code and do a very quick 2-minute survey where you can share your thoughts with me. And if you put in the code TEAM, TEAM, all in caps, I'll give you the feedback and the strategy guides. You'll be able to download that. Or if you don't have your smartphone, let me put the URL in the chat here. There we go. The URL will take you to the exact same survey. Use the same code, TEAM, and you'll be able to download the feedback and strategy guides. It'll take you maybe 2 minutes to do that, and go ahead, put done in the chat when you're done. And I'm just going to play a little music while we do that. All right. So let's open up and let's look at some of the questions we have in the chat here. There was a bunch of them
Yes.
here. Let me scroll back up.
Okay. Okay,
Let's
Lorna,
see.
thank you for your excellent presentation. Before we jump question in the chat box, as moderator, I would like to use this valuable opportunity for the first question to you. The question is, in our company, there's always
Mhm.
the old employee and the new one. How can leaders balance them and the need for immediate performance with long-term employee development?
All right. Yeah, and that's kind of a different presentation that I do. But certainly that is a challenge because we have so many different generations, up to 5 generations in the workplace today. And each one not only has their own disc and working genius style, but they're also generational working style. The older generations of my generation prefer the face-to-face and how they work. Smartphones, they can't imagine working with these things. Yet the younger generations, they can't they can't see themselves. It's an extension of who they are. They can't work without that. So it really is a matter of taking the time to understand them. What is their work preferences? And understanding how they are. If you look at the where they grew up, the age in which they grew up, uh, older ones that are my age, we grew up with television, and it was a communal thing. Everybody, we had one television set and everybody watched the same shows. But as that the screens became smaller, then it became more personalized, and right down to watching a video, watching a movie on your own cell phone now. Even our ads, our advertising is tailored to a specific audience with algorithms, and anybody that knows Facebook knows that. You look at, you happen to look at, I love my daughter, my sister is married to a gentleman who loves motorcycles, and they share the same computer, and he'll be looking at motorcycles and motorcycle ads will show up in her news feed. It's like, I'm not interested in motorcycles, but because he's been using the same computer, this is the algorithm. It really comes to understanding people. It really is a personal, as technologically advanced as we are and as dependent as we are, it really is these people skills that will help us advance. I hope that answered your question. And maybe I can
Okay.
come back and talk about generational differences another time.
Okay. Okay, let's move to our chat box question. The first one is from Ilham Aji Pratomo. He is looking for advice on how to deal with a situation when we have conflicting priorities with our teams, how to deal with the winning party, as well as how to deal with the losing party. Thank you.
Absolutely. And this is where that the 5 behaviors workshop is really good, because you have to have that trust, first of all. And the trust comes from the interpersonal relationships and realizing that the overall objective for the organization, that we are in agreement with this. This is what we need to do. And then have that healthy conflict and debate. And then as a team decide what is the best way forward. And we can't have that until everyone feels heard. People can't hear until they feel heard. So everyone needs to be able to share their perspective and get the buy-in and do that, have that healthy debate about what is the best way forward, and an agreement that whatever the decision is, if it's the decision of the team, then everyone will support that team. During the meeting, everyone has it's open conversation. It's ability to share your reservations and your ideas. But once the team has decided, everyone will support that decision. And that is really, it is a challenge working through that. And again, that's a different workshop that I go through on having those challenging conversations and getting the buy-in, finding that common ground. What can we agree on? And then moving from there. I hope that helps.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And then there is from Andrian. How can we effectively acknowledge chaos and take control of it? and we are able to take benefit from it
Acknowledging chaos.
and take
Those are things
control.
that are outside of our control. And it really is okay. Some things like the economy, we are not in control of that. We are not necessarily in control of who is in the seat of power politically. We can vote, but individually we don't have that challenge. We can't control the economy, the weather, or political parties, but we have to focus on what we can control. We acknowledge that is the reality, but what can we control? That's how we retain our ability to make a decision, is focusing on what we can control. There are parts within that chaos that we can control. Next
Okay.
question.
Okay, the next question is from Asmawan. How to manage a team or staff which has bad attitude and cannot be productive?
First of all, recognizing that attitude is a choice. And as leaders, we have to set that example. We have to be the ones that are looking at the positive. We recognize reality. We need to acknowledge reality. We can't have that positive, that toxic positivity. We can acknowledge reality, but we can always point the way forward. That's casting vision. And if we have someone that is constantly negative, then that's where that coaching and feedback, that one-on-one conversation can help, because we need to be able to help them shift their attitude. Attitude is a choice, and recognizing that either we change you, or we change you. So either we help you change your attitude, or we find you somewhere else to work. All right. Another question?
Okay, thank you for the answer. It's very interesting that bad attitude is a choice. And the next question is from Irfan Pasaribu. How to handle the team that very strict to the scope of work, job description. Meanwhile, the project needs flexibility to meet the project goals.
Okay, so this is where having that DISC assessment can really help us understand what's going on for them, especially if they want to stick to the scope of work. They're probably a C or a CS. They want it always the same, and they have no flexibility. It scares them. Change scares them. They don't know what's coming, and people don't like to be changed. They want change, but they don't like to be changed. So, and again, this is having that coaching conversation with them about what it would mean if we were a little more flexible. How can they be a little more adaptable? What would happen? Help give them that forum that they can talk through. What does flexibility look like? Where things might have to change so that they can prepare mentally for that. That's the biggest thing for the C's and the S's, because they need to be prepared for it. They need to think it through. They don't like sudden change. The D's and the I's have no problem with that. Yeah, they'll go with the flow. It's a challenge. It's going to be fun. But the C's and the S's, they need to know that it's going to be okay, that it's safe, that you're going to be there for them. You're going to give them everything they need so that they can be flexible. So again, it comes down to having coaching conversations with them. That one-to-one feedback can really help them improve.
Okay, thank you. And this is our last question from Alvin Afwan. Hi, Lorna. Thank you for really insightful session. I'm actually wondering whether all this would also be applicable when we are managing up. If so, are there any tips on how to effectively apply these strategies for that purpose?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Managing up, understanding your boss is, you can take all of these strategies, understanding who they are, even if they haven't taken the DISC assessment. you can get a better idea of who they are simply by looking at those two questions I gave you at the start. Are they more reserved or are they more outgoing? If they're more outgoing, then they're probably a D or an I. If they're more reserved, they're probably a C or an S. Are they more task oriented? In other words, they just want to do things, or are they very social? Are they they just love talking to people? And you can generally guess this most of the time. You can read people that way. They're just those two questions, because if they're people oriented and they're outgoing, then they're probably an I. If they're more detail oriented and task oriented, then they're probably a C. Chances are they're probably also a D. They love telling people what to do. And understanding that first of all is understanding them, understanding how they want to be communicated with. That will help you there. The other thing you can do as a boss is understanding what are their objectives? What is it that they want? And helping them achieve that. Zig Ziglar used to say, you can have whatever you want if you help enough other people get what they want. And certainly that does apply when you are leading up. So building that trust, when you can relate to them, when they feel that you are relating to them, that builds that trust relationship. That helps them feel like they can depend on you. You're reliable. They can trust you. And that helps you with your influence of them. That can help you develop your influence so that they can rely on you for your opinion and hearing what's going on with the team. What is the feedback? What are people not telling them? If you've developed that trusting relationship with them, you can be authentic with them. You can be transparent with them. It's just like, you know what, you did a great job with that meeting, but here's what I'm hearing after the meeting, and here they can trust you. So developing that trusting relationship is key. Okay, were there any other questions, or are we going to move on?
Okay. There is a last question from Jumiato Ikhlas. What are the indicator which showing that we have a good progress in employee development programs?
Absolutely. So it really is about taking that assessment of where you are right now. What does it look like that right now? And then through the employee development, what does success look like? What will they be able to do, be, or have once they have gone through that employee development? So maybe it's their communication style. Maybe they are more of a D. They're very deep, just getting to the point, and they intimidate others with their communication style. They're just to the point, bullet points only, but their C's need a little more details, and the S's are feeling a little intimidated by them because, well, the D's can be steamrollers. Trust me, I am a steamroller at times. So what does success look like? Have they been able to develop better communication? Are they have developed a little more friendly style? What does success look like? And that how you can tell whether their development plan is working or not. This has to be a two-way conversation. It's not just goals that you set for them. Anybody that has teenagers knows if you just tell them what to do, chances are they're going to resist it, right? But if you help them realize what they need to do, they're more likely to do it willingly. That's why it needs to be a two-way conversation. Okay, here's what your challenges are as I see them. Do you agree? What do you see as your challenges? And what would success look like? If you were to improve in that area, what would that look like? And how can we help you get there? That's how you measure your employee development programs, because overall you're going to see other things. But remember that even as you develop your employees, there are going to be other factors, like you want to improve the bottom line and you're working on developing your employees, and then the economy tanks. Well, you can't do anything about that, but you can continue to develop your employees and build that resilience so that when the economy comes back again, you're ready to move forward and you're that much further ahead than everybody else in the marketplace. I hope that answers that question. All right.
All
So
right.
let's wrap it up here, shall we?
Okay.
So
Uh,
we've come to the end of our time together, and there's one thing that I've learned from John Maxwell, and that is that knowledge is like paint. You only see the difference when it's applied. So I'm going to ask you to write something down. I'm going to ask you to write down 3 things that you learned today, 2 actions that you're going to take to apply what you've learned, and 1 way you're going to share what you've learned. So 3 things you've learned, 2 things you're going to apply, and 1 thing that you're going to share. You see, I believe the core skills around relational intelligence and using guided methods for problem solving are catalysts for building connections between people, connections which lead to greater innovation and a better society. While improving collaboration benefits teams across the board, it also delivers real business results. Time to market decreases and innovation quality is raised when teams collaborate more effectively. You don't hire machines, you hire people, and people are complicated. Any attempt at collaboration must explicitly recognize and pay attention to the human aspects of teamwork. To do otherwise, to treat people like machines or relegate relationship building to a once a year offsite team building exercise, and the inevitable results is a disconnected, unproductive, unhappy team. So I want to thank you for being here today. I thank you for your attentiveness. And I thank Razuli for inviting me to be here with all of you. It's been an honor. My name's Lorna Weston-Smyth. I'm a speaker, coach, and trainer with Maxwell Leadership. Have a fantastic evening, and I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you for your wonderful closing statement, Lorna. And we are reaching the end of this session. For wrap up this session, I want to say special thanks to you, Lorna, for sharing your expertise and valuable insight with us. And I also want to express our gratitude for everyone here, our participant, for your active participant, engaging question, and also valuable contribution at PRANKS 98 tonight. We have around 170 people joining tonight. Your enthusiasm, interest has made this session to the success. We hope our discussion today will make an impact to your activity in daily and working life. And we hope to see you again in the next pranks. Thank you once again, Lorna, for your wonderful session. And before we close this session, now we are going to our final photo session. If possible, please open your camera for this photo session to all participants. And please must racially to capture our photo.
Okay, great. Okay, everyone. Can open the camera. Okay. Okay, test. We have 7 page. Okay, the first page done. And it next page. Okay. Okay, this is the last. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lorna.
Okay. Thank you, Mas Raisuli. I think I can close this meeting. Have a great day, everyone. Good evening, all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Lorna.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Lorna. Thank you,
Everyone.
everyone. Join the
Thank
session.
you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Guys, Yuli, thank you.